Hey everyone, it's Justin. Thank you for watching and or listening, and welcome to my house. It's time for another ServiceNow Store Highlights episode. That's SSH 12082023, our second episode in December, and you can see right there beside my head, we have this week 30 new or updated applications in the ServiceNow Store since our last episode. Let's go ahead and see the breakdown by category here. We've got in store for you 2 compatibility updates, 2 fixes, 11 highlights, 7 minor updates, 5 new releases, and 3 release notes fails. Let's not delay any longer. Let's jump into it and take a look at what's on the list of compatibility updates. They are Armis Security Incident and IBM Cloud Pak for AI Ops were both updated to be compatible with Vancouver. So that's the compatibility ones. We did have 2 minor fixes as well. Securonix app for security incident response and software asset management, SaaS license management, both had some fixes in their latest update. So nothing big enough to kind of highlight or anything, but basically some minor fixes. And then speaking of minor, we have our minor updates. These are small updates to things like, for example, these dashboards here, we're adding Japanese language or compatibility with Japanese and French, I think it was. So that's the kind of thing for the minor updates. So we've got at IceFlow RBM Custom Components 2, CHRO dashboard, CIO dashboard, and CISO or CISO dashboard. Cookdown SCOM connector maintenance mode add-on, OnSolve IT alerts, and outbound email filter all had some minor updates. And unfortunately, with this time we had 3 release notes fails. You can see them there at IceFlow/RBM Custom Components, not the one you saw earlier, but a different one. BT Digital Services, IM and SRM, and Universal Service Hub all were release notes fails. Release notes fails, this means I can't tell from the release notes what was updated or changed, so I can't tell you what is new in those applications. Which brings us to the new releases. Speaking of new, let's go ahead and jump right into it, and we'll start with this new release called Akamai, I just forgot the G, Guardicore Segmentation. That's right, Akamai Guardicore Segmentation. Utilize the CMDB data to easily create and label assets in Guardicore. Key features for this application, this new one: lower security and operational costs by automating workflows using CMDB Asset Lifecycle Management, reduce audit costs through automation and improved information flow on all assets, maps the CMDB fields into labels in Guardicore Centra, and periodically syncs the servers in the CMDB with the Guardicore Centra assets for enriched labeling and a faster path to zero trust segmentation. This particular app has 2 videos. I'm not going to click on them because you're watching or listening to a video, and we're going to move on to our next new application, which is Noname Integration for CMDB. Interesting name, Noname. The Noname Integration for CMDB enables you to ingest in-depth details and configuration of application programming interfaces, or APIs, all of which are automatically discovered and analyzed by Noname Security Platform. Key features: it enables you to manage APIs configuration data and lifecycles, build an accurate API inventory, and streamline vulnerability response and security incident response processes with complete context. Their app imports all APIs and their configuration as discovered from traffic analysis into the ServiceNow native data model. We do have some screenshots. The first one looks like a dashboard showing some statistics around inventory. The next one is the Noname properties. These are application or system properties that they're showing. Next one is the Noname Graph Connector status page, showing that the application is active and that we have a good bearer token. And we're back to the first dashboard for those screenshots. So that's what's new from the team at Noname Gate Incorporated. Let's see what's next on the list of new releases here. We have OpenText Documentation OpenText Documentum, not documentation, Documentum /D2 connector. Simply simplify and accelerate how you integrate with OpenText Documentum D2 server. Key features: let's see, we've got a summary of key features and then a list here, so we'll go to the list. Documentum folder browser widget, D2 search widget, documentation advanced agent assist, and some spoke actions. Let's list out those spoke actions for you here. Document management, folder management, group management, user management, ACL management, group/user common actions, and cabinet management. are the key features for this app. We do have some screenshots. First up is going to be a folder browser for Able Tutor. I guess we're looking at Able Tutor's files. Next is a workspace showing an HR case form, and on the right hand side is showing some documents related to, I guess, this case or Able Tutor, because they were showing Able Tutor earlier. Actually, it's a case. So there's a case folder, and then there's a document within that case folder. And then now also Agent Assist showing some PDF documents in Agent Assist on that same case. And they're flagging a document using the ellipsis, the vertical ellipsis. Next screenshot is their spoke actions, which I read out earlier. Assign ACL to object, create ACL, delete ACL for cabinets, get all cabinets, get cabinet by ID for documents, add version, copy document, create document. And then we're back to this screenshot of the files for Able Tutor. So that's what's new from the team at Riva Solutions Incorporated. Next up is Remote Access Plus. It's a new application that easy troubleshooting with our remote or their remote desktop software featuring unintended access, file transfer, screen recording, and more. This is actually from Manage Engine. Let's see the key features here. Manage Engine Remote Access Plus is an enterprise remote troubleshooting solution that helps system administrators simplify their mundane troubleshooting routines from a central location. It offers features like advanced remote control, remote command prompt access, remote shutdown, remote reboot, and associated features. The plugin for ServiceNow can be used to perform the following operations directly from incidents: perform remote control to computers managed in Remote Access Plus, remotely wake up computers, and perform shutdown operations on computers. We've got some screenshots for this one too. First up is the menu system, or the menu for Remote Access Plus. Drop down there, and then an incident showing the Remote Access Plus tools, which you access using a UI action, it looks like, and then you can restart, hibernate, standby, lock, wake on LAN, or remote control the computer by searching for the computer name. Next screenshot shows remote control or remote shutdown for a computer if you pick the computer name, which is a required field. And then the next screenshot is showing Remote Access Plus. Actually, it looks like we're remote controlling a computer using their software is what that looks like. And then the next screenshot is Remote Access plugin setup details within ServiceNow. And then the next screenshot is managing the endpoints from the ServiceNow console. It looks like a guided setup, and you can integrate now free for 25 endpoints is what it says there. And then we're back to that first menu item for Remote Access Plus. So that's what's new from the team at Manage Engine, which brings us to our last new release. Let's see if I can pronounce this one. XenTegra-Liquidware Stratusphere Power Tools. That's a mouthful. Virtual infrastructure, analytics, and discovery. Key features: tools that provide additional features and functionality to be built upon the Stratusphere base integration kit. Let's see. It's an add-on for that kit that I just mentioned and adding additional features. At a minimum, we will provide the following charts. Machines with firewall enabled versus those without, machines with drives encrypted versus those without, machine reboot policies, Windows update policies, chart of different operating systems in use, machines with last reported time being in the past 24 hours versus older, and machine count per data center. We've got screenshots on this one. First one is a dashboard showing firewall status, drive encryption status, and those things that I just mentioned on that other page. Another screenshot of the dashboard showing systems by OS. And then another page, it looks like it shows, let's see, use this tool to find applications that are installed on your Stratusphere monitor systems but are not in use. It can be used to recover costly licenses or issued but not being used. Interesting. So it's an application list of apps that it's found, and then you can click to expand, I guess, to see what computers those are on. Oh, if you scroll down after clicking on it, run report, it gives you a list of the hosts in the data center where those applications are. And back to the dashboard screenshot. So that is what's new from the team at XenTegra LLC, and that concludes our new releases, which leaves us with the highlights for this episode. First on the list of highlights is going to be Avanair Contract Flow, updated to version 5.5.0, and in this version, clause deviation with generative AI capabilities, MS Office JavaScript-based Word add-in, contact hierarchy in the contract list, downloadable contract summary report, external review via O365, and new features in DocuSign e-signature and Adobe Acrobat e-signature integration. Next up on the list of highlights is going to be CheckSmark CSAT, or CXSAST, my brain saw CSAT. Vulnerability integration, updated to version 1.0.16, and in this one, the addition of a new DevOps integration, which is independent of existing SecOps integration. All right, next up here on the list is going to be Checkmarx 1 vulnerability integration. I think this is the same exact release notes, but it's updated to version 1.0.17, and again, addition of new DevOps integration, which is independent of existing SecOps integration. Next up, eCall Business Management or Business Messaging SMS Notify, updated version 2.0.0, and in this version, they've updated to Vancouver, use flow action to send SMS, and automated triggers work now with any ServiceNow task table. Next up is going to be Fujitsu Stanza extension for CSM, updated to version 1.1.0, and in this one it now adds support for the ServiceNow Customer Service Management Order Management plugin. A pretty cool plugin if you haven't seen that one. Next up is going to be, I don't know how to pronounce this word, let's try Itential or Itential. Someone leave me a note down in the comments, how should I say that? Itential Automation Services, updated version 3.0.2, and they're pleased to announce what's new in here. Actually, I think this one, if I expand the previous release notes, yeah, so we need to focus on this section right here. Mid-server support, OAuth support, server-side REST API, ServiceNow Actions, and ServiceNow Flows examples are what are part of this major release on December the 5th. Next up is going to be LeanIX integration, was updated to version 1.1.4. And in this version, they're offering improved error handling when creating, updating, and deleting objects in ServiceNow, extend table metadata endpoint to provide access control information, and support glide_list when requesting metadata from ServiceNow. Next up is Qualys CMDB Sync, was updated version 2.6.0, and they've got a list here, including a link to their user guide, but let's read the list. In add IP flow, users can send multiple IPs in one API request. They've provided create or update the CI option for approval flow, asset metadata syncing to all associated Qualys asset IDs, and the option to provide a script for metadata attributes. In properties page, provided more options in download batch size, download processing batch size, auto approval, and upload batch size. For sync certificate, VMDR licensing requirement provision to add certificate API filter and approve certificate by UI action, auto approval. New custom attributes feature added for ServiceNow to QG schedule, Qualys something schedule maybe. New third-party asset import beta feature introduced to sync assets from ServiceNow to Qualys CSAM. Add a different sync queue type for syncing different types of data. Asset and certificate home pages are replaced with dashboards. And on top of all that, some minor bug fixes. And they're calling this a minor release. But thank you for the details. Very, very helpful there. Next up is going to be Runbook Management. Was updated to version 1.6.0. And in this version, the addition of Event Runbook Scope functionality to allow linking of an event or runbook to a CMDB or other scope table. Support task triggering of recovery status on a scope item. Support tracking of recovery time, objectives, forecast, and actuals, and like the other one, some various bug fixes. Next up, T-Systems Connector was updated to version 2.2313 or .313, and in this one they've got minor changes, a small bug fix, communication channel v4 attachments are renamed in T-Connector and sent back to T-Systems. Another small bug fix retry functionality within the connector. Also, issues with number spinner widget on the install Windows Linux catalogs. An enhancement to improve function list_CI_applied_2. Another enhancement for performance improvement for TS on query connector properties. Business rule is called frequently, and each time it takes several seconds. And that is the last one. So I've read them all off there. There's more details there if you're listening and not watching. So you might want to go check out those updates from T-Systems Connector. And we've got our last update here. It's going to be Vivid Charts, updated to version 1.5.1. And they have a pile of fixes in what they're calling a patch release. Let's go ahead and knock that out. They've introduced fixes for a dynamic filter options now refresh when a user utilizes the manual refresh option. Views that were shown to be stuck in refresh mode, even when they were not, are now properly cleaned up and status updated. When a summary is updated, the preconditions for the summary list are properly handled for all update paths. UI fix for summary card metadata. Related links for summary views that are added via the admin panel UI are properly handled for all hubs. List chart column calculations where subtracting durations is updated to provide better output and formatted results. Advanced Advanced search was updated to provide better results when only searching for views where the user has added permissions. Field selector charts were updated to better maintain label formatting in the viewer. List chart headers can now be styled to have no background color. The download version of a view better handles situations when a chart has no data returned. Better edge case handling for use of the regression trend line. Report generator workflow is updated to better handle updated dynamic filters on the view. Click-throughs that have special characters are better handled, and manual refresh option is now available on dynamic views. Whew! For a patch release, that is an incredible amount of fixes. Thank you to the team at Vivid Charts LLC for detailed release notes. We appreciate it and I applaud you. That concludes our SSH episode. Let's take one more look at the recap. You just saw or heard 5 new releases, 11 highlights, 2 compatibility updates, 7 minor updates, 2 fixes, and 3 release notes fails. I hope you found this video or podcast helpful. If you did, please like, please subscribe, or share it with somebody who you think might be interested in what got updated or what's new in the ServiceNow store. And until next time, don't forget to always be learning.